have you on my show.
That is correct. You did have me.
Coming out stories.
Yes, and for you to shine light on my story, it was everything. Just to be able to educate others that may feel alone, it was beautiful.
I had goosebumps and tears. It was only my second time doing the show, and it was during Pride. You had actually had to get yourself off to a drag performance right after, so it was interesting trying to get that all done. But you made it work, and you even stayed and talked to everybody afterwards and did the pictures.
You had to, right? So even though there was 2 events, and being in person and speaking at the museum itself in person, that was everything. And overbooking myself is something that I seem to do a lot, but I made sure that I was able to be there and over there as well, you know?
You made it happen, and I was impressed because I think I had met you once in person, and then this was like the first time we actually got to talk, and before the show, and I was just blown away, and instantly we became friends, I would say.
Definitely. And like a lot of people don't know, after meeting you that first time, I felt like I officially had a sister. I don't know if you can feel that same
we had a connection for sure, like that, a family connection. We're all about chosen family in the community. In some families, you lose your family, but in other ways you gain a whole new family. So you're definitely like a chosen family. I believe that for sure. My little brother, who just turned 29.
Yes,
you just did your first showcase, Rise Against Bullying showcase.
I did.
Like that, I wasn't able to make it. I'm so sorry. COVID had gotten our home again. But for you, what was that like, putting together your first real showcase?
Putting it together, and the whole goal was not only have a safe place in an environment that was local in Niagara Falls, but to be able to give a platform to people, like meaning speakers, comedians, singers, drag queens, anyone that has any sort of talent. And putting it together was in the mind of, Justin, you've never been able to have that courage in high school to go on the stage to do the talent shows. So why not shine light and give a platform to people to be able to do what they do? And putting that together, it was stressful. I didn't think I can do it. The doubts of, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But once it happened, yeah. And I couldn't have been any more proud to have been able to shine light on people in the community, and just to see the love in the room, and knowing that I was able to put this together.
And it was a packed house from what I hear.
Right. And it really shocked myself just to see a whole bunch of people in person, because remember, we've been in this pandemic, we've been locked away, we've been having to socially distance to now being social again. And I felt like anxiety kicked. I felt very nervous. I felt like the most realist I've ever been, because I thought, why not just be myself? Because if I am nervous, which I was, people seen it, but they also were so loving and kind and supportive at the same time.
Well, speaking of nerves, let's talk about what first got you in the spotlight. I'm going to let you talk. You do tell everybody, because they want to hear from your voice. What was it that got you started and shined a light on what you're doing?
So from literally social media, I had thought one day to sit in my bedroom and to share my story of bullying and homophobia and what I endured in a little town called Fort Erie. While I put this video together, it was things that I never even shared with my mom. Again, it's that reaching out to your parents, reaching out to friends, reaching out to someone when you really feel that you are so alone and you just need some help and some sort of advice. And when I was 18, I had the courage to share my story online, and the fears, the judgment, the what are people going to think? And after I had shared my story, it ended up being not only just sharing my story online, but schools in Canada, in Niagara, wanted me to come and speak. And from 9 years ago now to where I am today, I literally still get nervous, but I wasn't as shaky. I wasn't as fearful as I was then that I am now. And how I say that is like, literally, using my voice to speak up for those that are voiceless and being so terrified while doing it. But that purpose and that soul searching was knowing that there was people out in that world that could benefit and know that they're not alone. And I never ever want anyone to feel how I once felt, feeling like I was in this dark room without all these bright colors and acceptance and love and inclusion and equality. To being in 2022 now, it was a scary time. And it's all about standing together, rising against bullying together, building each other up together, and
You said
making our
it.
community a stronger and better place for everyone.
Well, Rise Against Bullying, that's where it all started, right? Now
Right.
so you went global.
Right.
Tell them what happened. Like, this is an amazing story.
So after sharing my story online, and while I shared my story, I was younger and I had reached out to Kids Help Phone, feeling so low. And from there, and starting Rise Against Bullying, I'm now Kids Help Phone's national ambassador. And from there, I've been able to share my story all across Canada, been able to now be featured in a TELUS documentary that has over 1 million views on YouTube. And it's not like just so much success, but it's when you put so much hard work, sweat and tears into using your voice to be able to help people smile, to not feel afraid, and speak from your heart. Exactly. And I am where I am today if it wasn't for people that were loving, that were kind, that were supporting, and were there to help spread awareness on my message of taking a stand to bullying. It leaves me speechless every time, because not only was there many awards that I've received. Last year was the Impact Award through Niagara, where counselors had a vote on who was the top 5. And just the fact that I was nominated and didn't have that doubt in myself that I would even receive the award, but I did. There's a lot of people out there that really are watching and seeing what I have done over the past, wait for it, almost 10 years. That's really showing my age.
That's a decade though of,
Yes.
giving yourself and trying to get better while trying to get other people better.
Right. I'm glowing. Just 10 years. It's
10 years.
absolutely crazy. And with creating this campaign, being involved with Kids Help Phone, I'm now able to have resources and tools, numbers and text lines to be able to help young people and adults as well. And knowing what I went through as a child, to taking such a negative situation and turning it into something positive and showing people that, yeah, you know what, life back then for me, for little 13-year-old Justin, was not the best. But if I can be there and help the 13-year-olds now and the 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds and all ages, knowing that they're not alone in this world and that there is support and that there's someone that loves them, is the reason why I started what I did. And I never could imagine that it would be where it is today.
How could you imagine that?
Right? Like, I could never imagine 185,000 people following an idea that I once had, that I personally thought that maybe it would not be anything. Remembering what people used to say to me, being worthless, not good enough. And, there's a lot of self-doubt, and all of us go through it. We sometimes have a dream and sometimes we feel we can't chase it. But once we do, just like you, Falynn, creating Living Out Stories, having me today, dreams can come true when you believe in yourself.
And they do come true.
Yes.
You have to look at the positive and the good things though, because there's a lot of negatives surrounding us right now, especially right now in all communities. So you really do have to look at the good things, like the friendships that come out of the communities and the events that you do and certain things.
Right.
It just means a lot. Like what you're doing, like 185,000 people, it shows that you're not alone.
Right, exactly.
There are many other people that are in the same boat as you. And by you sharing your story, you're touching all of those hearts. Now, I want to get into another thing, Christmas cards. Let's talk about Christmas cards. Justin's Letters by Justin.
Right. So a couple years ago, I had dedicated some time with writing Christmas cards to a few people. At first, it was a couple hundred, asking people online who wanted a Christmas card. And since this pandemic, I had realized not only were people dealing with not having a supportive home base at home, in our 2S LGBTQIA plus community, but people that were dealing with isolation, financial struggles, mental health. And I've been dedicating every Christmas for the past 4 years now, but even since this pandemic, I really, really pushed and made sure that every year I have reached the goal of handwriting 1,000 Christmas cards, front and back full of positive and encouraging and inspirational messages directed right to the people that have been writing emails, whether it's a parent asking for me to write a card to their child. I'm getting a little emotional. A child going
You're
through
gonna make
some
me a little
tough time.
emotional. I know that some of those kids that get bullied, their
Right,
parents look at you and they see that you have, you're rising above like the phoenix, and they actually reach out to you and say, can you
right,
send little Billy or Bobby a letter?
right. And so, and I realize every year I have to start earlier. So now I right in October 1st, when it's Halloween, I'm writing Christmas cards because there's so much requests being sent in, and it's every year it's updated. So people change people's addresses, people move. But right away, as soon as I put up my Google Forms, people are right there, submitting their information, wanting cards. And what inspires me the most about it is that sometimes on Christmas, it's not just about receiving presents and knowing that you have gifts and all that fun stuff. But when someone had said that the only thing that they had received this year was a Christmas card, is what
Yeah.
made me absolutely just cry, because that Christmas card was filled with confetti and glitter and a little pop of surprise. But that's what made people realize, and made me realize, I should say, that, sometimes all it takes is one small kind action to really make an impact in somebody's life. And to not know fully what is really going on in someone's life, to be able to make them not think of it for just one moment. It's very rewarding just to see the smiles, frowns to smiles, which makes me smile.
Well, to hear that maybe that's the only thing they got that Christmas, I don't think many of us realize, or we take for granted, because we might get three to 10 gifts, or have extra money during the holidays and get invited
Right.
to parties and such. There are some people that are literally doing the same thing they do every other day. It's no different. They don't have that love. They don't have that. So I have received a letter from you. I got glitter bombed by Justin, okay? Probably twice. So, and I know the emotions that I felt when I opened that, because I wasn't expecting it. It was a really warm and fuzzy and happy feeling. So I know that what you're doing is, I mean, you're just like kind of like Santa Claus, but like the gay Santa Claus, handing
Right.
out
And I
letters and stuff, handing out the glitter.
and that's how I felt too. So even to touch up, so while the government had told us to do the stay home order,
Mhm.
the little rebel in me said, well, I need to go do wellness checks to every
I
single
was
person
gonna
in
tell
the
you that part, yeah.
I felt like I needed to do wellness checks to 365 residents in Niagara. Instead of mailing out my cards, I thought it would be a good idea to personally hand deliver them.
You were very
And
safe about it.
right. And the amount of people that were crying, that wanted to hug, that were just so happy to just see someone. And I mean, with distance, I had gloves. I was spraying myself with hand sanitizer spray, trying to make sure I was cutting all corners, because we were supposed to be in the stay home order. But I knew there was a lot of people that really needed some extra love. And with the distance, with staying far away from people, but still being sociable enough to hand deliver them a card, it was it literally was like I was Oprah giving away free cards to people, and just seeing that
You get a card,
expression of
you get a card.
right, and that expression of people just as soon as I pulled in their driveway, like, what is he doing here? Like, how does he know where I live? Like, someone sent me your address, honey, and that's why I'm here, you know?
Well, that to people that had been isolating, maybe they were the only people in that house. I know I had times where cabin fever was definitely there. And I wasn't even alone the whole time. So I think that you really made a big difference to those that had to spend that time alone, isolated.
Thank you, Fallon. After 10 years, it's hard to catch up on everything that I do, but I always make sure to keep myself busy. And when it comes to people, I love people so much. I care about them. I care about their feelings. I care about what's going on in their lives. And to know that some people's lives are not as great as they should be due to not having that support or love. And this pandemic scared me a little for a lot of my trans friends that had confided in me and told me that, you know, like my family's not really supportive and they had to really shelter and hide more. That's what kind of hurt my heart a little more, that made me want to go out more in person and just kind of do little surprise wellness checks on people to remind them that, hey, you got this, you've made it this far.
And you're
You
not
don't.
alone.
Right.
Being alone can be very scary. You know,
Definitely.
that thought alone, like just that, not everybody's okay on their own.
No. And it takes one person to make a difference, but together all of us can change this world and make this world a better place, you know, with one person at a time. Friends are amazing.
Speaking about making this world a better place, children. Let's talk about children for a second. I know that you have 2 daughters and they are adorable. They're little social justice warriors. And they honestly, they're apples falling far or close to your tree because they want to do the same thing you do.
Yes. So a lot of people don't know. Yes, my name's Justin. Yes, I'm an advocate. Yes, I run Rise Against Bullying, but little do a lot of people know, I am a stepfather of 2 beautiful girls. One who is 9, that is Taylor, and the 11-year-old is Haley, soon to be 12, and the other one's going to be 10. So we're in the double digits now. I've been in their life for over 5 years. I have met my partner, Kyle, who has been so supportive, so loving. He is also an amazing dad. He's a superhero. Um, and I also feel like I have a parent as well, because when I feel at the moment that this is too much, or, you know, like that motivation, that push, you know, that you can do this, Justin, I believe in you. And to have that strong and beautiful relationship, not only with my partner, but with our children as well. We have them full time. And like Claire, she has this thing called sharing is caring. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, because she wants her bucket filled with kindness. And if you don't fill her bucket with kindness, she calls you a bucket dipper. And the way how she said that, it just kind of really melted my heart so much, because she'll say bucket dipper. And I just instantly know, like, short form, like, not, they're not being too kind right now.
I've had
And
enough of you.
right, exactly. And Haley, Haley, thanks to my smart, beautiful oldest daughter, she's very smart. She's number 1 in her French class. And during this pandemic, I was really struggling trying to do virtual presentations. And this 11-year-old showed me up and how to really show me how to use technology, being
These
29.
kids are smart.
Very smart, and I'm still learning from her, and I know that she's learning from me. And to be honest with you, the reason why I pulled up this rainbow flag, we just did a rainbow rock garden as a family, and I noticed Haley was doing like rocks with 3 different colors. Like, I think one was, and this is why I say think, because I need to educate myself a little more, but I think she had one that was like yellow, blue, and pink for pansexual colors. Am I wrong?
I think you're right.
Okay. So she's like went on about how many flags there actually were and were what
She researched.
represented. And I was sitting here like, I love rainbow. Like, can we stick with rainbow? And she's like, no, I want to do a pansexual rock. I want to do a bisexual rock. I want to, and I'm just sitting here like, oh, okay, I'm learning from you, but I'm acting like I already knew that. But really, she showed me this whole different world, and they're world changers. They're very kind and loving girls. And I'm very fortunate to have walked into their life 5 years ago, because I think that's what I needed in life, to not only be a parent, but to have little ones to run around, to play dress up, because I might be 29, but I'll play dress up all day.
They spice up your life. I was going to say, those girls, they dress a lot like you. You can tell
Right.
that they've got some influence from you. One of my questions I actually wanted to ask was, when you're getting ready in the morning or getting ready for an event or just any given Sunday,
Right.
when you're getting ready, what are you wanting to tell people? Or is it just, this is just the way you dress? Or do you have a message in the way that you carry yourself and dress?
So of course. So when I was younger, or even in high school, there was always things I wanted to wear. So Halloween was that one time a year that you can wear your pink skinny jeans or a little bit of sequin. And I just kind of just got the confidence. Well, a couple years ago, starting Rise Against Bullying 9 years ago, I slowly started wearing sequins, and I have not felt more comfortable wearing something that I love to wear. And my message with putting together outfits now, because I go right into a full outfit every time. As
Yeah,
you
you
know me
do.
very well, I try to really sparkle. And the reason why I do that is so any young person or adult that is looking at me or seeing me expressing myself into the way that I am, I want them to know that if I'm able to wear this, so are they. And that if there's ever anything in this world that you wanted to wear, if you
Mhm.
love it, because at the end of the day, all that really matters is your feelings. And if you like something, wear it and express it. I kind of
Do
felt like
it. I
I kind
love
of
that.
I kind of felt like I was hidden away for so many years. And I realized that like enough was enough. And I couldn't be any more prouder to have gained my confidence in my 20s to just realize, there's a lot of people that don't like my outfits, and there's some people that do. But the people that love you and that are kind to you and that respect you are the ones that are important to you. And I think it's great to surround yourself with positive people. And wearing outfits with a message, I think is very important.
I do too. I want to talk a bit more about your partnership with TAPS and all of these wonderful showcases that you're going to be doing. Also goes into another question. I'm full of questions.
Of course.
So TAPS is a very open place. They've always been a safe place. I've always known I could go there, and I've never felt like I wasn't accepted. So I think it's a great opportunity for you to be mixed with TAPS. Now, was that something that happened before the showcase
I can't
with
wait
the
to get into
cards?
this.
With the cards, right?
Yeah, so originally I had went to TAPS with the Christmas market. They had reached out to me saying, Justin, we want to help you this year with postage. As I was speaking about writing 1,000 Christmas cards a year, in a sense, I kind of forgot to mention, but I write Christmas cards to anyone around the world that needs a card. So when I had started doing that, postage has become a little expensive, especially with international stamps going to like Japan, Uganda, United Kingdom, Russia, places all over. And Ashley from TAPS, Eric's wife, had mentioned that she wanted to showcase, yes, at TAPS, letters by Justin. So I went there with my little vendor table. I had a couple bracelets. I had newspaper articles of what I was doing in the community. And I didn't realize that that whole entire day that they were going to raise money for stamps and postage. And to have that friendship and that connection, I had that thought in my head that I thought, what a beautiful place this would be if I were to be able to do something special here. And the funny thing is I had said something to my partner, Kyle, in like April 5th. And I said, I think I'm going to go talk to TAPS, and I think that they could maybe want to do something special. And I think they might. But I want to start shining light on people and have a few drag queens and live singers and speakers and comedians and, do like some Rise Against Bullying event. And my boyfriend, as loving as he is, went behind my back, and he had put my whole vision that I was trying to put together to life on my birthday for a birthday surprise with people from
Surprise.
St. Sue Marie to Thunder Bay. I had someone from Newfoundland, Montreal, London, Toronto. People were all over. And a lot of these people were my friends that I haven't seen in like 10, 15 years. My mom even came down. But that's when I realized, after seeing the outpouring of love and support, and while I was crying my face off for the good first hour while I was there, that my boyfriend, future husband, he's totally going to be my husband soon. There's the ring. Um, but just the fact that he went out of his way to kind of show me like
And
people
started
love
it.
you. It started it, right?
Yeah.
So I just had the courage to start a thing called Rise Against Bullying Showcase, this will be now our second. This will be the second
What's the
showcase.
date?
So the one that's coming up will be on June 19th at 1 to 4 o'clock. We still have a few special guests, but we do have Christy Kenzie. We have Selena Carlson that's going to be there. And we're just waiting on a few more other people to really put our our list together. But I'm definitely trying to aim on shining some light on people that haven't ever been given an opportunity to go on stage and do what they love to do.
What does drag mean to you?
Drag is drag is drag. And what drag means to me is that I have this element. Again, when I'm able to wear outfits, I'm able to put on a wig, I'm able to be more excessive with my makeup. I feel like I'm able to bring out the best in who Justin is. This creative person that loves to make outfits. And I literally mean making outfits. This is tiny pieces of broken mirrors. And I'm telling you, a world of drag, to just feel included, to feel like you can perform and make people happy and, be yourself. And again, like it's that element, the element of just being myself and performing, dancing to songs, dressing up, and seeing the people just literally smile from ear to ear.
Well, one thing I know about you is when people are around you, they're definitely smiling ear to ear. You are definitely one of those people that if you're looking on what's going on in the community, there's usually Justin there, and there's usually he's got a cape on or something beautiful. And I think that you're a big shining light in this community. And I know that the community isn't perfect. I mean, like nothing is.
Right.
I think that we have a lot of people in our community that are trying to do the right thing. And it's just important to stay aligned with those people. And I think that's what you do. I think that you understand that you're not going to be able to get what you want to get done unless you work with people that have the same views and the same heart.
Correct. And it could be very difficult because, like I've mentioned, I have been doing Rise Against Bullying for 10 years, meaning for 10 years, I have done hundreds of free events, being able to just go on stage and speak and go to other events and shine light on them, volunteer, be involved with the community. It's like a whirlpool of like emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing. And
I feel you on that. I feel you.
It's and I have to admit, like, when you put your heart and your soul into everything that you do to not only like provide a safe place for people or creating free events for young people and adults or giving them a free Christmas card or giving them a free meal like chili or something near the holidays. I just find it's like it takes your soul to do the things that you do as well, Falynn. And I know with me, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself as well, it's very draining, but at the end of the day, it's what lifts me up. It's what makes me happy. It's a rewarding moment to see someone feeling so lost in this world and knowing that they can look up to someone like you or me and know that they're not alone, and that if Falynn can do it, I can do it. If Justin can do it, I can do it too.
And I mean, I'm not going to toot our own horns, but you and I are definitely like cut from the same cloth. When we do things, it's from our heart, it's our soul. We are putting absolutely everything that we have into it. And that can be hard sometimes because you work with people that aren't doing that. So I'm just so thankful that I have aligned with you. And I feel like we're helping to build a stronger community with our hearts. And it's not always easy, but we're doing it. And you are really doing it.
You got that right. And I have to just admit too, like, as a community, I feel that we should be building each other up instead of kicking each other down. I think that if we were to start spreading more love, more kindness, more passion, if there were issues, to create more of a conversation to resolve.
No hate.
Right. Love is love is love is love. And that's what we've always been taught, that love is so much louder than hate. Love is so much louder than homophobia. Love is so much louder than bullying. Love is so much louder. And if only all of us loved each other more often, how strong and beautiful our community would be. Just being able to see everyone holding hands and supporting each other with their missions and their goals. Like, what a beautiful world.
If we
you
all
know?
worked together, I mean, we'd be unstoppable. Like there's nothing, like that's just what it would be. If everybody worked together, we would be that way. But I do see that with what you're doing, bringing people together for the showcase, I think that's beautiful. And that just shows everyone that, you know, we can all get together and work together. I'm
Exactly.
looking forward to seeing you at Fort Erie Pride. Everybody, I'm not sure what the exact date is, but it is in June, at the end of June. There's a lot of good things that are coming up. And I just want to make sure everybody looks into them, because we have a lot going on, and not just in Niagara region, but outside of Niagara region too. Everybody's trying to do their part.
There's like, my schedule this month is more fuller than it was last year. And I made sure that this year just be busy, whether there's a Fort Erie Pride.
Fort Erie Pride is June 25th.
I'm excited. Fort Erie Pride as well. It's going to be a huge, amazing show. So many vendors, the community coming out. There's going to be a band, drag singers, drag performers, live singers, bands.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Fort Erie Pride. I wasn't able to go last year. I wasn't feeling well, or well, actually they didn't do it last year, 2 years before, but I will be at this one, and I will be all rainbowed out. I can't wait to see you and the kids. June 25th, write that in your calendar, everyone. And Fort Erie, let's like show Fort Erie some love.
And what makes me just so happy, I'm just like literally just shaking my little flag around. From being bullied in Fort Erie, from not ever thinking there would ever be a sight of a rainbow flag around, to seeing in 2022, Fort Erie Pride creating this beautiful, inclusive community that welcomes everybody. As I performed on May 8th for the Sip Shop and Drag Brunch, I was more scared than I could ever have felt, because I kept turning my head like, where are they? Where are those kids that used to chase me down the street? But I had to realize that they're not here, and there's people here that support you, and they support others, and they're supporting my friends. And to be in that environment is the place I want to be always, in a safe place where we can celebrate Pride with our community.
I love it. Justin, thank you so much for coming on Living Out Stories and talking about some of your lived experiences and what you're doing, and sharing with us about your showcase, which I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how well that does. I know that Ashley and Eric with TAPS, you know, that's a great combo for you guys to be working together. So I think now we should open up if we have any Q&A. If anybody in the chat has any questions for Justin, we're going to bring out Adrienne, and she is going to read us those questions, and then we will go from there.
There we go. Sorry, I muted myself. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys have been enjoying this chat. It's been lovely to hear everything. I have some, first off, I'll start with some nice comments. I have Facebook and Zoom going through here. Linda says, great job, Justin. Lots of love. And then over here, we have some named Princess says, hi, everyone. Hope everything's going well. And Christopher said, I love some amazing people and some really amazing stuff you're talking about. So that's nice to hear that. So in terms of questions, I have some stuff written down. So I know you kind of talked about what's happening this month, Justin, but I'm just wondering, as we are getting out of the pandemic, you know, I use that term loosely, and as things kind of open up, what are your plans for the next year or so? Like, what are your goals long-term to try to either things to continue or maybe some new projects on the horizon?
So definitely my huge goal for not just only this month, but the whole entire year, is to start doing more weekly or monthly events, just providing like a safe place for our community to come out, whether it's an all ages kid coloring contest versus a bullying prevention event, or World Mental Health Day. Every month and every year, it's just like a season. There's always something special going on. So my main goal is to make sure I'm more in person, since this pandemic has kind of made us so separated. But just being able to create more of a safe environment for people, and also having more time to physically handwrite more cards to people every single day. And I wish I'm able to have like 7 hands to be able to do the things that I have to do. I do have 2 children that we're raising together with my partner, but there's so much going on, especially being facilitated with Kids Help Phone. My goal is to forever be able to keep passing on their information as well and participating in their events so I can pass it on to young people and adults that need some resources, tools, or advice in their life.
That's great. And also, Princess Fireheart asked, is there any plans for you to make any appearances in Port Colborne?
There is actually something in the works. I can't say too much yet, but there will be a drag show happening in Port Colborne. Probably not this month, but next month for sure. But definitely stay in touch with Rise Against Bullying or Justin Preston on Facebook, and I will be doing something in Port. That's amazing you asked.
That's great. And then this is another question that I was actually thought of as I was listening to you talk. I know you kind of mentioned this, but you seem to have you have a big heart and you care about a lot of these people that you're trying to help. How do you find the balance for your own mental health to make sure that you are giving what you need to give, but then also making sure you're keeping what you need to keep so that you can keep going? So what are your kind of tools or activities or anything that you do to kind of get that you recover and recharge?
Of course. So just like this cup, Justin never learned a couple years ago as well that you can't pour from an empty cup. And sometimes you always have to keep your cup full, meaning your battery, your energy, make sure that you're good. So with myself, I've learned that making sure that I turn off my phone at a certain time at night helps me be able to unwind. And also with carrying on so many projects, I make sure that I'm not overloading myself as much as I would have done before, but limiting myself too, because I also learned that I also have 2 girls in my life in the picture too, and family time is so important. And with being busy, with being active, with everything that's going on, I had to learn to be able to kind of family time, just in time, the community time, and friends and social time. But I also have learned that when I overdo too much, I start to feel very overwhelmed, and I'm trying to do too many things at once, where even like being on with you all today, if I was having a crazy day and coming on here, I probably would have been like, I could have done so much better. But I've learned to have the time, the space, separate myself from being so overwhelmed and busy, just to be able to have the time to just relax and be able to share and find time for me. But I have learned you cannot pour from an empty cup. Always make sure it's full, because you matter. Your mental health matters. And a preacher can preach, and I have learned as I'm preaching to take my own advice.
That's good. That's good advice for other people too.
Yes, that is. So those are my questions. Falynn, I don't know if you have any other things that you would like to cover.
Well, there's one other thing. It kind of went in with mental health. I just wanted to let people know, if they are to go on to Justin's pages, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, he's got a lot of stuff on there, that will help people with mental health if you're feeling alone and you want to reach out. So I just highly suggest following Justin Preston on any of his social media, and I promise that you'll find something that will warm your soul.
I have one thing to mention. To any young person that is watching today, I want you to know that you're loved, and you can always text the word home to 686868. That is Kids Help Phone's text line, crisis line. And to any adults that are listening as well that may feel like, hey, I need some advice, life has been overwhelming, you can text the word wellness to 741-741. And these crisis text lines are anonymous, confidential, and available 24 hours. You're not alone in this.
Thank you so much. Everybody, you can check that out online as well. Kids Help Phone is online, and they have all the information there for you. Thank you so much, Justin, for joining us. Is there anything else you want to say?
I do want to say that more people in this world, Falynn, should be like you. You are a leader and inspiration. You have been able to share so many people's voices. I've been following these stories for a while. The last speaker as well had brought me to tears. And just while I was cooking and listening, I just thought how great it was, even for the City of Niagara Falls Museum, for everything that you guys do as well, for shining light on the 2S LGBTQIA plus community.
Yes.
I just feel it's so powering. And 13-year-old Justin really would have benefited seeing something like this and knowing that a museum supported me and loved me no different. And same with you, Falynn. Thank you for giving people the opportunity to share their voices and just be them.
Thank you. I do thank the museum and the City of Niagara Falls for providing this platform. In my 5th year doing this, and it's definitely something I can see myself continuing to do, because I believe sharing these stories starts conversations, and conversations educate people because they want to know more. So thank you so much.
All right. Well,
and thank you as well for everything.
Thank you guys so much. This has been a wonderful evening, and I got to hear some amazing stories. And this recording will be posted on our YouTube channel. So if anyone needs to go back and listen to anything, it will be there. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Falynn. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in on Facebook and through Zoom. And tune in. I think the next one is in the fall.
Yes, so September 22nd. We will have, his name is Rin Simon. He is an Indigenous, lovely young man. They, them actually. And I think it's he, they, them. And we are going to be talking about a lot of interesting things in September. And then there's another one in November. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All of this will be posted on the museum social media channels and as we get closer to the date. But well, I hope everyone enjoys the lovely weather. Thank you again for Justin and Falynn, and have a great night.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, everyone.